Hey guys, my name is Nora Franch, and welcome to the podcast Grateful Blessed Mess, daily reflections for those in the 12 steps. I am a fellow 12-stepper and certified mindset coach, and I am here to introduce you to the value of mindset coaching in your 12-step journey. So if you feel like you are stuck in the steps, if you're slipping and sliding with your abstinence, mindset coaching may help you as it did me, and you can find me at CatholicMindsetCoaching.com. These episodes are meant to invite you in to consider the truths of 12-step wisdom and to join in the very real struggle of living them in action. I hope that it feels almost like a mini meeting, and I invite you to contribute your own share on the Grateful Blessedness Facebook group to keep the discussion going. My comments are based on my own experience, so feel free to take what you like and leave the rest. But my hope is to encourage you on your own daily 12-step journey. As they say, you cannot stay clean on yesterday's shower. So without further ado, let's begin. Hey, we are on a Melody.The kick right now, in case you didn't know. We're going to read from the Language of Letting Go, page 131. It is the reading for May 11th, titled Perfection. Many of us picked on ourselves unmercifully before recovery. We may also have a tendency to pick on ourselves after we begin recovery. If I was really recovering, I wouldn't be doing that again. I should be further along than I am. These are statements that we indulge in when we're feeling shame. We don't need to treat ourselves that way. There is no benefit. Remember, shame blocks us, but self-love and acceptance enable us to grow and change. If we truly have done something we feel guilty about, we can correct it with an amend and an attitude of self-acceptance and love. Even if we slip back to our old codependent ways of thinking, feeling, and behaving, we do not need to be ashamed. We all regress from time to time. That's how we learn and grow. Relapse, or recycling, is an important and necessary part of recovery. And the way out of recycling is not by shaming ourselves. That leads us deeper into codependency. Much pain comes from trying to be perfect. Perfection is impossible unless we think of it in a new way. Perfection is being who and where we are today. It's accepting and loving ourselves just as we are. We are right where we need to be in our recovery. Today, I will love and accept myself for who I am and where I am in my recovery process. I am right where I need to be to get to where I'm going tomorrow. That's just like a vivid memory comes to mind where I was driving home from work and I was talking to a fellow on the phone, and she was telling me, you are exactly where you are supposed to be today. And she knew it was hard for me to hear that because I didn't like where I was. But I always remember that statement, when, not always, but I like to remember that statement when I'm in a place of struggle. And it's easy, so easy to say to another person, but when I say it to another person, I believe it. I believe that there is a reason why you are struggling as much as you are struggling today, and it is so that you will grow beyond it. And it will give you, the more you struggle, the more gratitude you will have on the other side. But you have to have the faith, or ask for the faith to stick around long enough to get to the other side. You really do. But I promise you, however great the pain is, that is how great the glory will be on the other side. 100%. That is like a rule of the universe, I swear. I'm just making this up, but I think it's true. Perfection. So from that perfectionistic attitude, we talk about, I should be here. I should be there. You've heard, I'm sure, people who call it shoulding yourself to death, which sounds a lot like something else. And the thing is that it's just not helpful. That's something I've learned with my coach training, that it's just like, fine, you wish you were somewhere else, but is it helping you to beat yourself up and say, well, I should be there already? Like, what's that? How's that working for you? Is another phrase that is kind of like, it's like rude, but it's just like, it's also just like, well, it begs a response. It's not working for me, because now I'm just angry about the fact that I'm angry, or I'm sad about the fact that I'm sad, or I'm in shame over my shame. It becomes this downward spiral that this emotion begets that same emotion, begets that same emotion, but to a greater and greater and greater degree. And so I think it's really interesting. I really think that deep down, my root illness, like 12-step illness that you could call it, is codependency. Um, it's just the way that I responded to life. Now, I didn't know that. And the substance specifically that like I could ingest that became the biggest issue was food and this whole body image thing. So like that became too loud. I really believe I had to be in OA. That is what had to start this because that was so loud and so physically distracting that 100% that was where I was supposed to be. Okay, so here we are. Codependency. I think it's really interesting because I think everybody is a codependent who isn't formed in virtue and this self-mastery that I've talked about. So we have this idea that we just like come out of the womb, we go through childhood, and it's like whatever sticks, and then that's what like goes into our college years, and we're just like blah. And then as we become more mature and more aware, we get to start to refine what it is we've become. And I know, God bless our parents, they're trying to refine us the whole time. But quite honestly, a lot of it doesn't stick because you either don't want to hear it, you're not ready to hear it, or maybe you are, and God bless you and your mom and dad. But I think any of us who are in the 12 steps, a lot of stuff didn't stick. And again, I'm talking in sweeping generalizations, but there you go. That's what I do. All right. So we have this, who we are coming out the gate, coming out of our home. And now what we get to do as adults, this is what this is what so much of us, like I was taught in therapy to approach a person in a relationship and say, when you do this, it makes me feel this way. I was taught that is a proper technique to communicate to another person. I no longer believe that is appropriate. I tried it and it didn't work. But also, I don't think it's appropriate because that puts because implicit in that is me asking them to change. And now you can make requests. But what I found is that often people don't respond to your request. They don't change with your request. And then what? So what I was left with, what made me so excited to find coaching and this whole stuff about emotional responsibility, emotional sobriety was the then what? Like, okay, I learned all these tools and techniques with how to deal with difficult people or toxic relationships. And I can ask and I can identify and I can request and I can label, like that's abusive behavior. But what all those modalities, all those people, all those things couldn't teach me that coaching did was, what if they don't respond to my request? What if I say that's abusive behavior? And then they say, and it's like, oh, wait, I don't have another tool right now. I don't know how to respond to that. And what coaching did is it showed me what I am responsible for in that moment, and that is my response. So just because someone is a jerk does not give me license to be a jerk back, and it doesn't make it okay. Just because someone's yelling at me doesn't give me the go-ahead to go ahead and yell at them. Just because someone's undermining me doesn't give me clearance to undermine them, which is what I automatically want to do. Just because someone's blaming me, I can't turn around and start blaming them. I mean, I can, but I'm still in the wrong. And I don't like being in the wrong. I don't want to live that way. So I don't know if I'm just going off on a personal tear, but that's kind of what this whole podcast is in a way. It's just this personal experience. It's my own personal experience of 12-step work with the influence of coaching and my Catholic faith. And it's just me, this grateful, blessed mess that I am. And I feel more blessed more mess than blessed most of the time. But that is because that's what I'm choosing to look at, and I'm working on it. So anyway, I could go on and on and on. I think I need to slow down. But this whole idea of shoulding yourself and the shame, this is where a coach is invaluable. And anyone, I mean, your sponsor, it doesn't have to be a coach. It can be a sponsor. It can be a friend. But it's this self-awareness piece that we just don't have coming out the gate of our childhood. We just think, I am the way that I am. And you don't even know the specifics of that. And that's what made the fourth step, as I've said, so difficult for me, because I just couldn't see those particular things. And so self-awareness is the first step to recovery. And that's what the first step is. That's what the first step is. It's self-awareness. It's saying I am powerless over this substance of choice, and it's making my life unmanageable. And so self-awareness can lead to self-possession, and that is emotional sobriety and self-mastery, and that leads to self-gift. With that, I pass. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you feel that mindset coaching could help you on your 12-step journey, please feel free to reach out and find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. But more than that, it's important to me to give listeners like yourself a place where you do not need to feel alone on your 12-step journey. And for that reason, I've created a Facebook group. It's called Grateful Blessed Mess. And it's a place where listeners can go to add their own commentary on the share for the day, in addition to my own, and for us just to have a conversation or start a back and forth where people can find support in their 12-step journey. This is not a replacement for 12-step work. This is something outside of the 12 steps. It is simply something that has a heart for the 12 steps and those who are in it. And so, welcome. If you're here, chances are you may also be a bit of a mess. And I hope that you can learn to find some gratitude in the blessings that have come from your messes.